Good morning. Today I decided to share with you a little reflection that was inspired by another session with another of my clients that I really love, appreciate, and feel a lot of compassion towards because we need to feel compassion to ourselves, all of us. So, the subject, if I would name the subject, I would say, allow yourself to lose your inner battle. Allow yourself to lose your inner battle. Completely. Completely. When we talk about inner conflicts, it's like a war inside, right? Feels like there's a lot of aspects of us competing for some place under the sun. And usually when we see the struggle, we want to win it. We want to overcome. Isn't it what we're trying to do always? We want to overcome. And as long as we don't, we punish ourselves. We beat ourselves up. And all we say, and you notice it probably very often, either in your life or life of loved ones, but I shouldn't. I know better. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't be doing it because I know better. Where is compassion in it? I don't say, just leave it as it is. What I say is, I invite you to understand it on a deeper level. And until you understand it, suspend all judgments. Suspend all beating ups, because you only harm yourself. You harm yourself more and more. You're not helping yourself by judgment, by penalty. That's why a lot of violence comes alive, because we penalize, we punish ourselves. Then we punish others for our own pain that we inflict to ourselves. And then there is resentment as an early stage, or actual violence as a later stage of development of the guilt and shame and self-judgment. Allow yourself to lose inner war. What do I mean by that? Just allow yourself to suffer long enough to be ready to solve something that you were not able to solve just yet. Sometimes it's a matter of ripening within to be willing to face something that is very painful, something that happened to you in the past, something that you were not even so much engaged in. It happened, which rewired your neural pathways. And it caused particular kind of behaviors and particular responses to particular type of activities or crisis. So you were not making that decision. You didn't choose it, yet you're subjected to it. That's why I call for compassion. So let's imagine the situation. Interestingly, very common. I work a lot with entrepreneurs, so people who are very high on the career stage. So there is a lot of responsibility. And at some point, many people face very strange, as it's perceived strange, dilemma. Very simple task that I need to do, and I'm committed. And moreover, it's in my calendar, and it's been in my calendar for a number of months. And I keep looking at that time slot, and I keep not doing that particular thing. And I move it around and move it around and move it around, and I don't do it. So you would think that, Well, they're just so easy, duh. It's either not important item or just do it. Well, interestingly enough, that's not the case. Very often it's priority number one, very important item. And person know what to do, person know how to do it, and he or she does not do it. And then they feel very frustrated with themselves. Sounds familiar? For a lot of people, interesting enough, it's very common situation. So that's how you see a lot of people get in debt, for example, because they just can't do what they know they should do. Well, beating up ourselves or someone who you know, beating up is not the solution. Penalizing with your anger is not a solution. Penalizing with your judgment is not a solution. What the solution is help yourself or another person to understand what causes the escapes. What causes escapes? The cause usually the same. The outcome of not doing it has less risk than the process, the pain caused in the process. And the pain is not directly related to the process itself. It's some anchoring, often, some anchoring happened in the past that got associated with this particular process or some outcome of this process. You understand what I'm talking about, yes? Let me be very specific so you don't misunderstand what I'm pointing to. Let's say you are in sales. Your job is pretty straightforward: to call to your prospects and have conversations. And at some point, you did it very nicely. It worked very well. And then one of the prospects that you called told you something super mean. They said something very, very unpleasant to you. Or, that's actually pretty simple, right? It's simple to remember and understand that could be the reason. It could be something a little more subtle. For example, they said something that it was not necessarily directly unpleasant to you, directly disrespectful or abrupt. No. But it reminded you some pain, emotional, of the past. Maybe the tone of voice, maybe particular words, maybe something else, maybe it was just a smell in the room when you called. And it resembled somehow on subconscious level something super painful emotionally or physically that happened in the past, but somehow it got associated. Some element of it was shared between past and these particular circumstances. Just example, right? Now, you will put on calendar sales calls probably for next year. And you will procrastinate doing it. And you will find something that seems much more important right now than that. Or you just need water, or you just need to pick up that phone call from someone else, friend or otherwise. Or you need to run errands, or you need to, whatever it is, escapes start to take many, many, many forms. I listed just something very simple, but sometimes escapes become very complicated. And the mind cannot see it. It becomes completely invisible to the mind. And that's how very often we get completely stuck and the suffering begins, and it becomes tremendous suffering. I know what to do, but why can't I do that? Right? I know what to do. I'm not stupid, duh, but I can't do it. And I cannot do it again, and I cannot do it tomorrow, and then after tomorrow day, and then a week later, a month later. What, am I stupid or what? And then there has become this inner war between my willpower and my fear of pain. and the second always win. And then you beat yourself even more up because you know that you have strong willpower. You always was able to do what it takes. Why not this time? And you can't understand it because it's not in front of you. It's in periphery. We call it blind spot, which requires processing. You really need to process. And interesting enough, you will even notice you will resist processing too for a while. And that's why I'm saying wait till you lose your inner war. So very often when I start working with the client and we look at my strategies are right, and here's my tactical plan, and here I cannot get it done, and I can't get it done. I don't get it, right? Very often there will be resistance to processing that particular component, that particular aspect of yourself that causes this dynamic. There will be inner war, and there will be war with me probably if you're working together. For a while, you will push it away because there is a price tag. If we together in collaboration will see it, now we need to overcome it. But there is still pain attached to that. So we need to understand that pain, and sometimes anchors are very complicated. They are not so easy to spot. They will not be on your conscious awareness, in your conscious awareness, most probably. That's why it's so hard to overcome. You're not aware where the anchoring happened. So to reprogram the mind, to reframe it, we first need to find out where is the glitch happen, right? And by you knowing it, you can allow yourself freedom to be there for as long as you exhaust your inner resources, you exhaust this fight, and then there will be surrender. Then you will be ready to surrender and just deal with that. But before the moment comes, you will still be in that battle. You will protect yourself, defend yourself from the pain, from the risk of discovering, of this disclosure of the anchoring. And there will be a point where, as every war, there will be the end of it, and there will be surrender. You don't have to win that war necessarily, but you will be tired. You will exhaust your resources to fight. And you'll be tired so much, hopefully, you will tired to suffer so much that you will surrender your inner fight. And then you will be willing to see. Sometimes it takes very little and at fast. Sometimes the pain is pretty deep. And sometimes post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't like the word disorder. But sometimes it's multiple. And it becomes layered. And it's very hard to reach there because there's a lot of barriers. Right? So it's a collaborative work there, but we need to take it gently. And I invite you to be gentle to yourself, be compassionate. I bet you go there and advocate compassion to others. Wonderful. What about yourself? You were subjected to this wiring of your neural pathways in a way how you didn't choose that consciously. It happened. So give yourself a break and allow yourself to take time for as long as it needs to be willing to go in, willing to deal with it. Until then, get enough rest, get enough sleep, contemplate, watch, observe, do your best. Do not judge yourself. Don't penalize yourself more than you already done, because you've done plenty, don't you? Didn't you? Understand that our subconscious mind is a mystery. Yet, it's a mystery to be solved. And we can solve it. You can do it on your own if you want. Just sit and watch all your resistances. Watch your strong preferences. Watch your escapes. You can do it on your own sometime. And if you can't, reach out. We can do that together. But stay compassionate. Don't hurt yourself in any way. By word, by thought, by action. Be patient. Every war will be over. What aspect of you wins? That's another question. But you will exhaust your resources and you will want to get over it, overcome. And you will. So, give yourself time and enjoy the rest of your week. You deserve it. Much love to you, and I will see you very shortly. Much love. Much love.